the mentality of trading and investing is weird, right? Because, you know, we've all been guilty of this, right? And this is something that I think a lot of people need to kind of overcome if you're going to succeed in the space. And this is what the best investors in the space do. And it's so simple, but it's something that everyone falls for. And it's the fact that, you know, say you invest in something at $50, right? You invest in it at $50, it goes up to $90, $100, and you're like, holy fuck, it's made so much money, I'm up 100%, this is incredible. And then you see it go up to $120, you're like, oh fuck, shit. And then all of a sudden it retraces back down from $50 to 100 to 120, back down to 90. And then you start thinking, ah, fuck, you know, oh shit, it went from 120 down to 90. Everyone's been guilty of that, right? And then you start, because that becomes the new norm. When what you really should be doing is looking at your entry. You should be looking at your entry. You got in at $50, now it's at $90. You're up a lot. That's an incredible trade. But most people will be looking at the summit and looking at the top and thinking, ah, fuck, I'm down so much percent, whatever it is. And it's a mentality thing, because if it had never gone to 120, you wouldn't even be thinking about it, right? But because it did, and now you're down so much, you start thinking, I fucked up. But the reality is very few people get out at the top. So it's about adjusting your mentality to understand that I should be looking at the gains that I did make rather than the gains that I could have made. And it's simple, but we all fall for it, man. We all fall for it.
So some advice that I would give to people is, especially new people in the space, and just, well, if anyone who wants to hear it, is to try and avoid getting stuck in groups that are for individual projects, right? So you may like get really into a project and then just get into the community groups and then just get stuck there, right? And what happens is you start entering this kind of echo chamber, right? Where everyone's saying how amazing it is and how incredible it is and how nothing could go wrong and how it's going to be the biggest project ever. But by doing that, you kind of start to lose sight on the reality. And I've seen it so many times. I've been a part of it. And, you know, especially with like projects like quant in the early days, like I was 100% quant, didn't care about anything else. It was quant, quant, quant. But then I started seeing, you know, some stuff, maybe it's to do with token price, maybe it's to do with the charts. And, you know, you start saying, I don't think this looks good, right? You'll find out very quickly that the community will absolutely turn on you, like 100%, because it doesn't fit with the narrative that, you know, everything should be amazing, we only talk positively, and you start being labeled as someone who, you know, oh, you're fudding or anything like that. And I've seen it with multiple projects that I've been talking about. They will turn on you in an instant and it will be fucking brutal and they will treat you like the devil, right? So what I would recommend is avoid the individual groups so much. Obviously you can spend time there, but don't spend so much time there. But try and focus on maybe individual groups with like-minded people. Try and garner a group of people who are, you know, who you're friends with, people who you get on with, have a lot in common, and try to enjoy those groups with people and create your own groups and try and find good projects, try and find good opportunities, try and build relationships, try and build friendships, try and build people you trust. You'll get so much more value out of that. You'll get so much more value rather than just sticking solely into individual project groups. Having a group of like-minded, hungry investors or traders is so much more beneficial than being stuck in one individual projects group. So if I had any advice, it'd be don't do the former, do the latter.